You're listening to Two Tall Guys Talking Sales, where today's conversation tackles the powerful intersection of sales and marketing. Kevin and Sean unpack how sales teams can become strategic partners in content development, and why bringing real customer insights back to marketing can transform your messaging and drive serious revenue growth. They'll also show you a simple but game-changing idea. Invite marketing into your sales meetings to build alignment and sharpen your go-to-market strategy. Stay tuned. This episode could be the catalyst your team needs to close the gap and win more business.
As sales guys and girls, we often get asked a lot of questions around marketing. Here's one that's ripped from the headlines from the B2B Sales Lab. It's by one of our members. They brought this I think it's a really important question, especially here we are mid-year to moving into quarter three. It's about sales and marketing. It goes a little something like this. What is the sales team's role in marketing and content development? How do you break down friction between sales and marketing teams? Because it helps to clearly define the roles of the sales team. So the way I'm interpreting that and rephrasing that is that, hey, sales is accountable for driving the revenue, but sales is also accountable for working with marketing to get to a market-facing message that addresses current needs. So what are the things that we need to do as sellers and sales leaders to make sure we're feeding our marketing peers? Notice I didn't say team. Our marketing peers, the people who we are collaborating with, to make sure we get the right commercial message that attracts people to our brand and our solution. Sean, great to hear you. Hope you're having an excellent week.
I am. As we're recording this is the beginning of a very hot week, and I love hot weather. I think everybody that knows me, and if you don't know me, I'll just give you this hint. I have told my family for years that I won't move 1 mile north of where I live today because it's too cold in the north. And as I get older, I'm more adamant about that than anything. So I'm loving this hot weather right now. So I don't know about you, but I am. So I read this question and I was like, I could spin this question kind of two ways. You went one way with how do we help marketing do their job and how do we give feedback? But there's also, if you think that marketing was your product, then how does sales help production do their job better? And what do they need to do their job better or help production? So my point here is that there are many things that salespeople hear that we need to be the voice of the customer back into the company. So that can be the voice of the customer back into marketing, kind of what Kevin was talking about, giving them feedback of this is what's working, this is what I'm hearing. Gee, that marketing message didn't quite hit the nail on the head. But there's also the issue of, hey, production, I'm hearing this about the way we ship our product. The customer doesn't really like that, or they wish it was shipped a different way. And this is primarily, of course, if you're shipping big things and how they're shipped and how they're warehoused. Is there a way that we could have faster delivery of our most frequently purchased items, that we could put them on stock and ship them from the warehouse as opposed to shipping them right from manufacturing? Those kind of feedback questions, those kind of things that you hear in the marketplace that you see a need for, very valuable when you feedback to the company. Now, the downside of saying that is it's probably not true if you work for a Fortune 100 company, because a Fortune 100 company has way too many salespeople that are out there getting that feedback and forming that back. There's probably mechanisms in place if you're with a company that large to help you get that message in. You can't just walk into the VP of engineering and say, I think you need this feedback, because that just doesn't work. But most of the people listening to this podcast and most of the people in our B2B Sales Lab, our peer community group, they're working for relatively small companies where the culture is that everybody is part of the same team. We're all trying to get the job done, and the salesperson's job is to be the customer. Quite literally, the customer is going to say things, they're going to hear things, they're going to hear about the competition, and their job is to say, hey, I heard this. Now there's the flip side of that. There's a responsibility that comes with that, and that responsibility is that other people may say, but we can't do that just because the competition does it. That doesn't mean we can do it. And just because the customer wants it that way, that doesn't mean we can afford to do that, because let's be honest, we have to be profitable more than anything else. So salespeople, if you do take that feedback loop and you do try to give information back into the company, just be understanding that every company has limited resources and every company has limited ability to do it. But it is your job to at least voice the issue, voice what's going on, but don't dig your heels in and say, we're going to lose every single order from now on if we don't do this, because I've heard that happen as well.
It's funny when we speak as salespeople in absolutes, I picture the younger version of my kids where they're holding their breath and stomping their feet, expecting to get their way just because they want it. And that's never the recipe that's going to drive long-term success. But I think it's really interesting that we start to think about how what we learn in the market can impact so much of the rest of the business. And I want to make sure that we don't say one thing that's would start a fight in most businesses. Salespeople shouldn't take the posture of telling other people how to do their jobs. I think you said it really when you said, hey, we should be a conduit for information coming back to the business. And that can be to leadership, interdepartmental stuff. And frankly, in the bigger companies, often the voice of the customer actually starts in the marketing. So marketing is resourced to go and get the voice of the customer so that they can get the unvarnished version of how well the sales reps are doing. Because as a sales rep, we kind of have this inflated version of we buy into our own headlines that, we know everything and customers are going to be exceptionally transparent with us and tell us everything. And they would never tell us something that wasn't exactly flattering, right? Because we're never going to come back from a customer visit and go, boy, I stunk that one up as a salesperson, right? I got outsold on that deal. It wasn't the price. I just got outsold. That won't happen. So with a discerning eye and with a degree of humility, I hope all salespeople out there who are listening are thinking about, hey, how can I be a better teammate for the marketing team and the company? How can I bring valuable insights, not just statements from customers? What can I be listening for at the customer level, at the prospect level, to really try and understand what the market problem is? Is there a shift in the sands of the customer demographic? Is there a shift, a tectonic plate moving underneath the market that we're serving? Maybe that we're moving from a just-in-time type of inventory restock to a buildup of stock at our customer site. They want us to adapt differently, or maybe they want us to ship faster, or have forward stocking and forward kitting, or maybe there's a major part that they want ahead of time. We have to be listening so that we can carry that information back to production, to delivery, to manufacturing or warehousing, so that we can be a better internal partner to the customer. But I don't want to get too far off the mark here. Initial question, what should we be bringing back to marketing to help form and shape or inform the questions that marketing has? Sean, if somebody's never gone through this exercise of, at the marketing level, asking salespeople for information to be brought back to them, where would you have the marketing listening part of our audience start in getting the salespeople armed with questions that they need answered?
Great question. So I was actually thinking about that as you were talking there, because I was thinking about what are the best practices in this area? How do we pull this off? So I'm going to start, before I actually answer your question, I'm going to start by saying your job in sales is within your company, is to be the best run department in the company. Everybody should look at sales and go, wow, I really wish manufacturing could perform like sales performs. I wish accounting could do their job as well as sales does their job. And if you're not doing that, if you are not the best department in your company, then your opinion probably doesn't matter, because part of the answer you're going to get was like, yeah, stop telling me what to do. Do your job first. So if you never hit your quota, if you can't make a forecast, then don't tell me how to run the production facility. It just doesn't work. But one of the ways to answer Kevin's more direct question was, if you have a marketing department, if you have a marketing person, if you have an outsourced marketing person that you bring into it, somebody like Chris Spanier, who we had on a few weeks ago, or somebody like Amy Connor, who we've had on a few weeks ago as well, maybe a few months now. If you have somebody from outside the company that you're bringing in, or if you're having somebody that's internal to the company that's responsible for marketing, You need to, on a regular basis, not every meeting, but you need to do it on a regular basis, that marketing sits in, and marketing is the subject for this sales meeting. Maybe you break your L10 sales meeting into two different parts. The first part is going to be a marketing update, and the second part is going to be the traditional pipeline review, what deals are going to close. Regardless of how you break it up, you can bring those people into your meeting, give them an avenue to talk, do a bi-directional conversation on that to figure out what's working, what's not. What marketing programs are we going to be doing in the future? Gee, it would be really nice if you guys could hand out that flyer for that open house session we're going to do next August. Those types of efforts are important for bringing that message in. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it, and this goes beyond marketing, this goes on to we're just going to make sure the rest of the company knows what the voice of the customer is. And that is occasionally ask them to go on a sales call. They get tickled pink when you ask them to go on a sales call. That, or they get completely red and green and start running for the hills because they don't want to go out and see customers. One of the two things happens. They are either ecstatic about doing it or they hide under their desk when they see you. One of the two things is going to happen. But there is no better way to get a customer to feel really good, especially if it's a customer, not a prospect, to feel really good about your relationship when you say, my vice president of manufacturing would like to come in and see you to make sure that we are shipping product to you the way that you need it to be shipped. And we are configuring the product the way you need it to be configured. Are you okay if next Thursday I bring my VP of manufacturing with me to a sales meeting? They will love it. The customer will love it. And the VP of manufacturing will be talking about how great of a salesperson you are for at least the next 20 minutes after that. So you need to go off and do this as a regular basis. Get the people that are in the office to go out in the field, breathe your air, have to eat at Burger King while you're driving down the highway because you're late for the next appointment. Let them understand the pain of doing that. And let them understand that, yeah, you're going to be up at 7:30. You're going to be in my car at 7:30. And we're not going to get home until 7:30 because that's what we have to do as salesmen. So if you really want to impress the rest of the team, then do that. Kevin, what do you think?
I love the collaboration because to give advice or to give insight or feedback or anything from the voice of the customer to appear on your team, it's great if they've already seen you and walked a mile in your moccasins, so to speak. So I love that approach. What I also like is making sure that as salespeople, holding my teams accountable to using the marketing assets that are created for us. Talking about production, what is produced at the marketing level, not production as in the service you're producing, but the production of what your marketing team is producing for you based on the insights you brought back. Please, oh, please do not use it. You spent the time to gather the information. You spent the time to share the information with the marketing team spent the time to create you assets based on what you requested. Oh, if you don't use it, that's on you. If you're in a leadership position and you're looking at your marketing and sales team and they're maybe not aligned, you as a leader may need to help them align their goals so that when they come together to have those meetings, you have a productive meeting where they have a shared revenue goal. Marketing has a revenue goal. Yes. Sales has a revenue goal. Yes. Sales has an activation goal. Yes. Marketing has an activation goal. All these things coming together mean you're building an organization that is customer facing, feedback centric, and functioning at a very professional level. If you've ever used the term or phrase, I want to scale my business, go back and listen to the last minute and a half. That's how you do it. You get market intelligence, you apply it across your company, you create market facing value, and you go and talk about it. It's just that simple. And it's not. So my approach here, Sean, thank you for asking the question, is we got to be users of the intelligence. It's no use or value to know a lot, have a lot, be appropriately acclimated to your selling system, and then not to use the tools you've been given. There's a lot of great sales people who don't perform at their potential. Notice I didn't say didn't meet their quota. They don't meet their potential, meaning they don't earn as much as they could. They don't win the awards that they could because they get so wrapped up in doing it their own way, they don't support their team internally. So not to leave on a sour note, but teams out there, Look left, look right, stack hands, go do the things you were called to do together. Sales, bring good insight back, give it to marketing, use the tools they give you, and go give them feedback on the tools. Because at the end of the day, this whole podcast and your whole job is bent on make more money, have more fun. And with that, we're right here at the top of our 15 minutes. So thank you for your time. I hope your commute home is great today. And if you haven't checked out B2BSalesLab.com, that's B2B-sales-lab.com. Go check it out. See if it's a community for you. It's where iron sharpens iron and where the sales people and processes get better. Happy selling.
What an energizing episode of Two Tall Guys Talking Sales. One of the standout moments was learning how inviting marketing into regular sales meetings can transform both messaging and performance. Kevin and Sean shared how even a simple agenda shift, dedicating time for marketing updates and feedback in your sales rhythm, can build alignment, strengthen revenue strategies, and uncover powerful market insights. It's a subtle but high-impact move that creates real collaboration instead of just coexistence between teams. And don't forget the most significant takeaway. Schedule a quarterly joint meeting between your sales and marketing teams. This one actionable item creates a feedback loop that sharpens content, enhances messaging, and equips your team to respond faster to shifting customer demands. Do it now, before it gets lost in the whirlwind of daily business, and you'll be setting up your team for stronger revenue generation and more consistent sales success. If you ever need help with sales management, or just growing your company, Sean and Kevin are here for you. Their contact information is right in the show notes. And while you're there, check out the B2B Sales Lab, a peer community built for sales professionals and leaders who want to overcome challenges, hit quota, and scale smarter. It's a powerful resource where iron sharpens iron, and it's waiting for you. Go to b2b-sales-lab.com to learn about the community. Make sure you're subscribed on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. We'll be back next week. Same time, same energy, same commitment to helping you sell better. Happy selling.